proportions that are closer to that of like Barbie or a 1/6, like a true 1/6 scale. I can't, 1/6 scale. That is so hard to say. Hey everybody, welcome back. So today I have another versus video, and this video has been requested. You guys have been, well, you know who you are, but some of you have been posting comments in some of my other videos asking me specifically for this video. So here it is. Today I am doing another versus video, and you've seen the thumbnail and the title, so you already know. We're gonna be taking a look at some Rapunzel dolls. And of course, today we are going to be doing a versus. It's going to be Hasbro versus Mattel. So a couple years ago on my channel, I did get this Hasbro Rapunzel doll, and I did a full review. So if you want to see that video, I will be putting the video on at the end of this one when like the little suggestions come up on the screen. So if you want to check out that full video, then you can see it there. I will be using clips from that video since I don't have this doll in box to do like the side-by-side comparison, but I will be using clips from that review to kind of fill in places for this video. Especially since she came with the brush, I don't know where the brush is, so we're gonna have to use the clip from that, and as well as the box, obviously. But last week you saw that when I went doll hunting, I found this new Rapunzel doll from Mattel at Target, and like I had been mentioning that I've been wanting to grab this doll anyway, but a lot of people wanted me to do a review for this doll, and other people specifically wanted me to compare the Hasbro versus Mattel comparison. So I'm gonna do like a versus video like I have been. Also, if you want to see my versus videos, I have a playlist, so I'm probably gonna put that at the end of this video on the screen as well. I'll probably put a link up here just as well, so it's easy to find. But the most recent versus video that I did was the Ariel doll, and it was Hasbro versus Mattel, and that is actually now one of my most popular videos on my channel. So thank you to everybody who's watched that, commented, and liked that video. That video is actually doing very well. So I guess you guys must like those videos, so I'm back with another one. I am going to be doing this video just a little bit differently. In the Ariel video, I did the full review, and then I did the versus, like where I kind of went back. So I kind of like showed you everything twice. So I'm not going to do that. This time I'm just going to get straight into the versus. So why don't we go ahead and get started. Now, if you've never seen one of my versus videos before, the way this works is I have several categories, including price, packaging, hair, body/articulation, clothing, accessories, gimmick if there is one, and style preference. And style preference is literally just I look at the dolls and whichever one I happen to like more. As I go down each of these categories, I am going to assign a point to either one or the other doll. In this case, it's going to be either Hasbro or Mattel. And at the end, I'm going to add up all the points, and we're going to see who is the winner. Now, of course, this is completely my opinion. Your opinion may differ than mine. You may assign the points differently than I do, and everybody's opinion is valid, and I'm totally fine with that. Also, I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings if I don't assign points the way that you would have. So that being said, this is purely just me looking at something and saying, I think they did better here, or they did better over here, you know, stuff like that. And it's just a fun video that's not meant to be taken too seriously. Also, I just quickly wanted to mention that later in this video, I am going to be showing a Disney Store version of the Rapunzel doll to compare. I just didn't want to include this in the verses because like if it's between these and the other two, this one would probably get all the points because the Disney Store is my favorite when it comes to like the classic dolls and everything. So I'm not going to be including the Disney Store classic doll in the competition part, but I will do a comparison, like I will show you the difference and compare them side by side at the end of this video. Anyway, that being said, let's go ahead and get started on the comparison.
Oh my God, what is that?
All right, first category, let's talk about the price. So whereas the Little Mermaid dolls were both the same price, these dolls had different prices. In the Hasbro video, I kept saying the wrong price, but on the screen I had the correct price. So the Hasbro doll was $14.99. So basically she was $15. Whereas the Mattel doll is actually $22.99. So the Mattel doll is more expensive than the Hasbro doll, and by that definition, obviously the Hasbro doll would get the point here because it is lower in price, but I think I'm gonna actually circle back around to price just because in this instance the dolls come with different amounts of things, so I think that the price is subjective. So really I can't fairly give a point in the price category until we take a look at the other categories to know if the price is like worth it. Because yes, Hasbro is less expensive if you want a budget doll, but the Mattel version comes with a lot more. So we have to find out if the stuff that she comes with is worth the extra $8. So for now, I'm actually gonna move this category to the bottom of the list and we'll come back to it. All right, so the next category is packaging. So obviously I don't have the packaging for this doll anymore. I have her out of box. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at the clip real quick from the video where I reviewed her to see the packaging for this doll. Today I have a Hasbro Disney doll to share with you guys. This one is kind of like a hair play, hair gimmick kind of doll. I think she was $15. I want to say. So it looks like she has 18 inches, which is 45 centimeters roughly worth of hair. So let's see, on the back of the box you just have a picture of the doll, which is heavily photoshopped and does not look like the doll. I think the doll looks cuter. This is what you got, and I'm happy with this. This is what the photograph looks like, and it looks weird to me for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. But it says Disney Princess, lots and lots of hair. And then it just says lots and lots of hair in other languages. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, quick and to the point. Now for the Mattel doll, now here is the packaging for the Mattel doll. So it's very similar in the sense of it being a blister pack. You know, you've got the logo with the picture, the artwork of Rapunzel down here and everything. And you can see the doll prominently displayed with the accessories that she comes in. What did I just say? The accessories she comes in, the accessories that she comes with. On the back, you have a picture once again of the doll that is slightly photoshopped this time. It's not as bad as the Hasbro one was. But along with the picture of the doll, it also comes with little like ideas of like showing you how some of the accessories work and like how you can style the doll and everything. So this is actually kind of a tough category for these dolls because the packaging is very similar. They're both blister packs. Really quick, I'm gonna try and open this. Okay, so technically because of that little flap right there that was kind of tucked into the cardboard, the Hasbro one was a little easier to open. I think they both kind of do better in different ways. But I am gonna give the point to Mattel. Because yes, even though the Hasbro packaging technically was a little easier to open, this one, the photograph on the back looks much better, and you do get all of these style suggestions and everything. I think that this is better for the packaging and for a doll that is meant to be a hair play doll, so I am gonna actually give the point to Mattel. Before we get into the next category, I'm gonna get this doll completely out of the packaging here, and then we'll move on to the next category. All right, you guys, I am so excited to talk about this next topic. The next category is hair. Now, the Hasbro Rapunzel doll comes not braided. I braided this. So almost all of my Rapunzel dolls, because they have such long hair, when I put them in storage, I braid their hair. So that way the hair is not all over it. Try and keep it as nice as I'm able to. So I did end up braiding her hair, but this hair is not as bad as I remember. Like I remember kind of rating this hair kind of low when I first reviewed the doll, and it is a polypropylene, which is just not my favorite, but it's actually not bad, especially because of the length. Like it's, you know, when polypropylene is longer, it's not as bad, but it is polypropylene. That said, Mattel decided to use saran. So yes, this particular Rapunzel doll from Mattel has saran hair, and it is not as long, so I will give them that. Hasbro definitely got the memo. It's Rapunzel. Rapunzel is supposed to have very, very long hair. So they did do a good job in that respect. And like I said, the polypropylene that they used isn't the worst that I've felt, but it is polypropylene. I do want to give credit to Hasbro for doing the hair as long as they did, and I love that. I feel like a Rapunzel hairplay doll should have really long hair. And this Rapunzel doll does have hair that goes down to her feet, maybe just a little bit past her feet. But at the end of the day, for me personally, as a doll collector, the hair quality is one of the most important aspects of a doll, and that determines whether I like the doll or not. And honestly, like, this Saran feels so nice. This is such good hair, and like it's floppy, it's got movement, it just feels nice to run your fingers through it. Like, I love it. I love that they use Saran. Thank you, Mattel. So absolutely, without a doubt, I'm giving the point to Mattel for the hair. I also just want to show you close up. I mean, from far away at a glance, like, you can't really tell the difference so much, especially since like one's braided and one's not. But you could kind of see that the braided one, this is a little bit more shiny. It's a little more plasticky, and the Saran hair doesn't do that as much. It looks a little bit more natural. I mean, I guess as natural as a doll can look. All right, the next category is body/articulation. Now, let me show you the clip where I show this doll's articulation. Oh, the other thing is her arms don't move out. They are the swivel only, so they just go around in circles like this. And then the legs kind of go out a little bit. She can sit and then move her legs back. So basic 5 points of articulation. And for the Mattel doll, she also has the basic 5 points of articulation. There is pretty good movement at the head. She has the swivel joint as well for her arm. So the arm does not go out at all. It just kind of goes back and around. And then the legs can kind of go out, and they can, you know, she can sit down. Neither doll has articulation at the elbows, wrists, or the knee or ankle. And I would say that this is a draw because they're so similar, but I am actually going to give Hasbro the point, and I'll explain why. The thing that I'm going to point out is really a personal preference for me, but it's the feet. So the Hasbro doll has high-heeled feet, so that she has the tippy toes, and the Mattel doll has flat feet, so she is not able to wear high heels. I have talked about this many times in several of my videos. I prefer the pointed toes because you can still give a doll that has pointed toes flat shoes. There's different ways to do it. You can give them shoes that are flats and then they just happen to have their toes pointed, or you can give them slightly bigger, chunkier shoes to make it look like their feet are flat on the ground when really it's just the pointed toes hidden inside of the shoe. So like, you have variety when you're able to do this. When you give a doll flat feet like this, they cannot wear high heels. There's just no way to do it, unless if you give them like way oversized shoes and like hide their feet in that, but I don't even know how that would work. So yeah, I don't like permanently flat feet. I don't mind flat feet on dolls, just to be clear. Like, made to move dolls have the ankle articulation, that works for me. But I hate it when their feet are permanently flat like this, because you can only put them in flat shoes. I mean, I guess it's a moot point at this point because Rapunzel is barefoot in her movie and neither doll comes with shoes anyway. So I guess in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But for my sake, in trying to like figure out how I'm going to assign these points, I'm giving the point to Hasbro. All right, the next category is clothing. So looking at the doll clothes, I mean, obviously I already mentioned that their top is molded on, painted on, and they both have a fabric skirt. So they're both pretty equal, but the Hasbro skirt is much shorter. The Mattel skirt is full length, which is more movie accurate. Also, the Hasbro one has glitter on it, but hold on, let me see. Yes, some of the glitter comes off, which I don't like that because glitter gets everywhere. And we all know that glitter is the herpes of the crafting world. You can never get rid of it. Also, the material that Hasbro used is like, it's kind of satiny, but it's kind of plasticky. Like, it's not as bad as some of the cheap fashionistas plastic fabric that they use, but it's still You can kind of hear that. Like, it's still like a plasticky material, but the one for Mattel has no glitter. Instead, it has this really beautiful like foil metallic applique, and there's some really cute little Easter eggs because you've got like the little, where is it? There's the sun, and then you've got the flower from the movie, and you've got Pascal and stuff like that. Like, I love the thought that went behind the detail. Plus, like I've already mentioned, it's floor length or ankle length, so more movie accurate. Plus, oh, okay, never mind, that's making the same noise, but it just feels like a much higher quality. It still makes a weird swishy noise, so I guess the noise is not a great indicator for quality in this particular instance, but it just feels thicker, and like this is a really thin fabric. You can kind of tell just by looking at it, like the bottom of the skirt is scalloped and it's cut, but it's a raw edge, whereas the bottom of this skirt is hemmed, and just, you know, I can kind of like go back and forth and talk about this stuff, but basically at the end of the day, the quality is better on the Mattel doll. So Mattel gets the point for clothing. Next up, let's talk about accessories. First, let's go back in time and look what I had to say about this doll's accessories. I do want to show you, she comes with one accessory. It is a very simple hairbrush, and it has like the sun, like her emblem that you see all over the movie, molded onto the back. She doesn't have any kind of hair accessories, which is kind of surprising for being a hair play doll. She does not have any shoes because Rapunzel is barefoot, so they took advantage of that and did not give her shoes. So Hasbro didn't really come with much, but if we look at the Mattel doll, things change a little bit. This doll comes with 15 accessories. So I'm just gonna start with what she's already wearing. This is how she comes out of the box. So she has her crown, which, by the way, obviously the Hasbro doll comes with none of this stuff. So this is all things I'm gonna be mentioning that only this doll comes with. So of course we've got her crown, which is, obviously it's not 100% movie accurate. It's a little bit more cartoon or like stylized for the sake of the doll, but it's got the general shape and the idea of the crown from the movie, and I love that it's movie accurate in that way. She also has these little hair barrettes, these little clips that are like little flowers and stuff like that that you can put in her hair. She comes with a grand total of 9 of them in pink, turquoise, and purple. And then with these, you can braid her hair and then, you know, kind of recreate that scene in the movie at once she has the 3 little girls that are doing the jump rope braid her hair, and then they put all these flowers and stuff in it, so you can add that to her hair. She comes with a little Pascal, which I love. Pascal is one of my favorite Disney sidekicks or animal friends, or, you know, however they're referred to in the Disney world. Pascal is one of my favorites because he's got a lot of attitude. He is spunky and I love it. Plus he's just stinking cute. Look at that. Look at Pascal. He's so cute. She comes with a sponge that is cut in the shape of the sun, which is like the icon or the, you know, the imagery. Oh, I forgot. This whole time I had the movie playing in the background, and it's just been on the unconscious Flynn Rider this whole time. I hate that I do that when I pause. There. Okay, now we can have the movie playing in the background. Sorry, back to the show. So anyway, the sun is like the icon, like the image that you see all throughout the movie. So they have the sponge cut in that shape. And the reason they give you a sponge is because there is a color change aspect. This doll also comes with 2 little hair extensions or hair, like, I don't know what you would call these, but anyway, you've got 2 of these they're little barrettes or little hair clips that are yellow. So you can clip these in her hair and add little streaks of color, and they color change. So I'm actually just gonna do this, and I believe from the warmth of my hand, this should actually change the color of these 2 hair clips. Oh, yep, there, it did work. Okay, cool, and I didn't even have to cut the video. I just talked through the whole thing. So I'm just gonna, here, let me see if I can get it to warm up. Just like I said, the warmth from my fingers is kind of just enough. One thing that I will say that Mattel does well is color change. MGA, like, I know I'm not comparing to MGA in this video, but so many MGA dolls recently that I've gotten that have a color change aspect, for some reason they just can't get it right. Like, the color change does not work. It has to be extremely cold or extremely hot for something to work. Mattel is so much more receptive to the color change that literally just the heat from my hand is enough to change it. They just kind of, it's so funny, the pink turns to like a lavender purple, and this purple turns to like a light bubblegum pink color. That's so funny. But I love that she does it, and I love that they go back to the color that they were just from the temperature in the room. But obviously the color change would happen faster if you use ice water. And then of course, this being a hair play doll, she does come with a brush, but what I love about this brush is that it is also her pan. Because you remember in the movie, literally this part of the movie, hold on, let's go back.
Too weak to handle myself out there, huh, Mother? Well, tell that to my frying pan.
That's so funny that we literally just happen to be at that point of the movie when talking about this. But yeah, so I love the fact that they included her little frying pan, and there's like a little handle here so she can hold it. So she can actually hold her little frying pan. On the inside, you can kind of see there's like the molded detail of the sun as well. But I love that they turned the frying pan into the hairbrush. So you get like the two accessories in one. It's literally her prop from the movie, her chosen weapon, and also the brush. It's a hair play doll. You have to have a brush. So obviously, just because of the amount of accessories that you get and the quality of the accessories and everything, and like the thought behind them and stuff like that, the thought behind them and stuff like that, I think that I am definitely going to be giving this point to Mattel. The next category is the gimmick. Now, the Hasbro doll doesn't really have a, well, okay, actually, let me take that back. I was about to say it doesn't have a gimmick, but it does. So both of these are a hair play doll. So that is the gimmick. Now, for Hasbro, you've got the hair is super long like Rapunzel. So if she's gonna be walking, it's gonna be dragging behind her and everything. Like, this is really long hair for the height of the doll, and this is a little bit more movie accurate. Obviously, it's not movie accurate because in the movie, Rapunzel's hair like is super, super long. But it is way longer than the Mattel one, but I've already given the point to Mattel for the hair quality, so I'm not going to talk about hair quality here, being that this is a hair play doll and that's the gimmick. I will point out though and I already gave a point for like the accessories for the other thing, but specifically for these, this has a color change feature, which is a gimmick as well. So color change hair extensions or super long hair. That's a tough one. Let me know down in the comments, would you give the point to the color change hair extensions or to the longer hair? Honestly, I don't think the hair is that much longer. Plus, I'm gonna take some points off just because of the hair quality being polypropylene. I think I'm gonna give the point for the gimmick to the hair color change just because I think it's more interesting. There's more that actually happens. So I think for this one, I'm gonna give the point to Mattel. All right, so the next category is personal style preference. This, I think, is probably the more controversial topic because really this just comes down to my personal preference. Any of the other points that I have assigned so far do not matter when judging this. This is purely based off aesthetic. When I look at the two dolls next to each other, which one do I like better? This is a tough one, and I don't know, this might surprise some people, but I'm gonna give the point to Hasbro. When you see these dolls side by side, the main thing that okay, here's the thing. So I wanna point out a couple different things. Now, I do prefer the scale of the doll for Mattel. So when you hold them next to each other, you could see that like their feet are kind of like at around the same spot. The Mattel doll is a little bit bigger. She is taller, and she is also a little bit more tan, which I do like. You know, all their articulation is the same, stuff like that. They're both like molded on tops with the added skirt and stuff like that. They're both blonde with long hair. You know, they're very, very similar. The only two major differences that I can see is Hasbro has the bigger head with the smaller body, and the Mattel doll has proportions that are closer to that of like Barbie or a 1/6, like a true 1/6 scale. I can't, 1/6 scale. That is so hard to say. Anyway, I like the proportions more for Mattel. That being said, when I look at them side by side, the biggest difference between the two is their face. And I I don't know, I really like the Hasbro face a lot more than the Mattel one. Like, I don't dislike the Mattel one. I think it's pretty, but honestly, like, I think they kind of missed the mark. Like, this doesn't look like Rapunzel to me. This does. Like, neither of them are gonna be as good as the Disney Store one, so, and I'll show you that later. But out of the two, if we're just talking about the art style and the way that the face looks, this is one of the few instances where I actually prefer the Hasbro face over the Mattel one. They are both very, very pretty. So, like, don't get me wrong. I do like both of these dolls. And it's hard to say, like, I almost wish that this doll had saran hair. So that way, you know, I could just say that I like this one more altogether. So it's really hard, like, because she has the polypropylene hair. That's a huge negative thing for me. And the fact that she has saran, it's a huge plus for me. And I really, really like that. But when I'm looking at the face, literally the face sculpt and even the screening, like everything about the Hasbro one, I like more. I like that she's more tan. I think it's the only thing, but I prefer this face screening more. And the face sculpt, I prefer more. Also, I think that the Hasbro one is just like a little bit more relaxed of a smile, whereas the Mattel one looks like she's really like smiling, like really cheesing, which I kind of prefer the more relaxed thing anyway. I will say that I love that the Mattel face sculpt has a little smirk, like it's kind of pulled up on one corner or one side a little bit more than the other. I think that that's really cute. I do like that. Like I said, I don't dislike either of them. I like both of them, but I think just at the end of the day, I prefer Hasbro. So for the personal style, surprisingly, I am giving the point to Hasbro. All right, let's circle back around to the price. So just as a reminder, this doll was $14.99 and this doll was $22.99. So obviously this doll is more expensive, but she does come with more items, and the items that she does come with and her hair and everything are much higher quality, which I don't remember if I mentioned, but these little hair extensions are also saran, by the way, the color change. This is really tough for me because honestly, since she doesn't come with a whole lot, she is much less expensive. And because she comes with more, you have to pay more. So I feel like they are very, very equal. But I feel like the $8 extra to me is worth all the extra accessories and literally the hair alone. Like, although I don't think that I would pay the extra $8 just for the hair if she didn't come with all the accessories and other cool stuff. So in this case, I'm actually just gonna leave it at a draw. You pay less, you get less. You pay more, you get more. Let me know down in the comments how you would have assigned this point. Like, would you give the point for price to Hasbro, or would you give the point for the price to Mattel? I can't talk right now. Although, when can I ever recently in my videos? All right, so that is all of the points. Let's go ahead and add everything up and look at the totals. Honestly, I think that even if I was to apply a point to the price, like going one way or the other, it kind of doesn't matter because looking at the point system here, all of the points that I've given, Mattel is definitely the winner here. Like I said, I absolutely love the face for this one. So like, I am very happy that I own this doll. I'm just very disappointed in the hair quality. But, you know, other than that, literally with everything else, I love this doll. And I'm so happy that I got her. And, you know, she's definitely the clear winner here when just being objective and looking at each of these specific different aspects of a doll. So yeah, our winner of today's Versus video is the Mattel Rapunzel. Now, I did promise that I was going to compare these two dolls to a Disney Store doll because a lot of you also want to know the difference between these as well. So this is going to be kind of like a little bonus portion of the video. And I'm just going to go. I'm not going to like cut and everything the way I normally do. So I do have a full review of this doll on my channel, and I'm going to put a link to this up in the corner so that way if you want to check out this video. I reviewed her while I was in Disneyland. So if you want to see a review from the park for Rapunzel, then, you know, you can go check out that video. But anyway, here is the Disney Store version of Rapunzel, and you can kind of see here, let me show you all three of these. There we go. So you can kind of see side by side what they all look like. So from my right, which is your left, over here on this side, you have the Disney Store doll. In the middle is the Hasbro doll. And over on my left, which is your right, over here on this side of the screen, is the Mattel version. So you can see that there's very clear differences in the face sculpt. They all look very different. They have a different art style, just because they had different people designing them, and maybe even different technologies to make the dolls, which can, you know, that can play a part in it as well. I strongly believe that the Disney Store version is the most movie accurate. None of them look exactly like like the 3D model from the movie. In my opinion, but I think that the Disney Store one is the absolute closest, which by itself makes it my absolute favorite out of all of them. This is definitely going to be my favorite. Also, she has actual fabric clothing that is not painted on or molded on. Also, these dolls have a lot more better articulation. Still the same movement at the head, but she also has movement that goes out at the shoulders, not just around, you know? She can actually put her arms up, bend at the elbow, the wrist, movement at the hip, which is basically the same, but these dolls also have a bend and snap knee, which hers is kind of flimsy. The other thing I wanted to mention is the hair that the Disney Store uses is also like a low-grade nylon or a polypropylene. I can't really tell, but it is actually much higher quality than the Hasbro one. When I have them side by side and I feel them, like this feels dry and kind of feels like straw. This feels smooth and kind of silky, but it's not as nice as like Rainbow High or OMG doll hair is, but it is still, it's very nice for it being a polypropylene. Not my favorite hair for a Rapunzel doll, but I do really like this much better than this. In this case, out of all three of them, this one, the Mattel one, still has the best hair, in my opinion. Like, I think that Rapunzel deserves the best hair, and that means Saran to me. So the fact that she has Saran, like, just, I love that. Oh, I guess she does technically come with an additional accessory. It's her little flower here in her hair. So the newer Rapunzel dolls do come with a little flower. God, I love these dolls so much. I really, really love these. So, and I like these ones. Rapunzel is one of my favorite. She's probably one of my favorite Disney princesses. I don't know if she's my number one because I also really like Ariel and there's a couple others, but she's definitely up there in the list. I should make a video where I rank all of the Disney princesses from my least favorite to my favorite, or do like one of those. I see people doing those like ranking systems all the time where they do the like, you know, S tier, A tier, B tier down to F tier or whatever. Like maybe I should do that for the Disney princesses or something like that. Although like, I don't know if it would be a very entertaining video because for me, I like them all. I don't really hate any of them. So like, I don't know if I would really, but maybe if I just put them in order from like least favorite to most favorite, that might be easier for me. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if that's something that you'd enjoy watching. Anyway, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you for joining me and watching this far into the video. If you've made it this far, you might as well subscribe. You know you like hanging out with me and you enjoy doll content, apparently. Why else would you still be here? So hit subscribe, you know, it's right there. It's free, doesn't cost anything. And if you hit the bell, then you'll also get a notification every time I do upload. So you'll be in the know and you'll be the first to watch my videos. My wink looks weird. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun. Thank you for requesting this. You know who you are. I've got several people that commented asking for an updated review with the Mattel version and comparing it to the Hasbro version. I'm glad that you mentioned it because when they first came out, I didn't realize there was a new Rapunzel hairplay doll, although I should have known because, you know, Rapunzel is like the hairplay queen. So anyway, I'm going to finish watching Tangled since it's on right here, but maybe I'm going to pause it and go get some popcorn first. Anyway, thanks again so much for watching, and I hope I see you next time. Bye! If you like this video, you can let me know by hitting thumbs up. You can check out some of my other videos by clicking one of the links on the screen. I post new videos every week, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified every time I upload. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video.